You ready? I call this City Commission workshop of Tuesday, June the 8th, 2021 to order at 6:05 p.m. May we please stand for the invocation provided by Deacon Bobby Colvin, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Father, tonight we thank you for the city of Pahokee. We love the city, God. And we ask you to give our leaders wisdom in all that's done in the meetings that follow. Lord, lead us and guide us and help us to be according to your will. And we praise you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
What happened to our clerk?
Mayor Bath,
Present.
Vice Mayor Boland,
Here.
Commissioner Gonzalez,
Present.
Commissioner Mervin,
Present.
Commissioner Perez,
Yeah.
Interim City Manager, present. City Attorney, Weeks. Present. Acting City Clerk, present.
Thank you, Madam Acting City Clerk. Thank each of the commission, thank the staff, and thank each of our residents for tuning in to our workshop this afternoon. For those that are present, we are happy to have you and glad that you're here with us. Ms. Adam is our interim city manager. She's also dueling as our city clerk. Hopefully, possibly tonight, we may decide on hiring a new clerk. We have interviewed for that position. At this time, this workshop of the City Commission of the City of Pahokee is being held to discuss the June 8th agenda. At this time, I turn this portion over to our acting city manager to lead and guide us in the discussion of our agenda items as presented tonight.
Good evening, Mayor, City Commission, residents. Thank you for coming out and joining us this evening. On the agenda for this evening, we will have our Solid Waste Authority ILA Agreement, Resolution 2021-10, and that resolution is for for the delivery of municipal solid waste to designated facilities in the municipal revenue sharing recycling program between Solid Waste Authority of Palm Beach County and the city of Pahokee. And just an overview, this resolution is language, just a change of language specifically to the equipment, and it speaks to if a company has product that they're taking to a facility and there may be contamination, that truck will not be turned around because of maybe contamination. So this is an agreement that we already have with Solid Waste Authority. It relates to the sharing of the agreement that we have already in place from 2009 with the Solid Waste Authority. We also have a proclamation tonight for code enforcement. It is Code Enforcement Officers Appreciation Week from June the 7th through the 11th. We also have presentations by Kappa Alpha Psi. We'll be making a presentation to a young man, Talon Richardson, from Canal Point Elementary. He wrote a book. He's the publisher of a book and the author. And we will also acknowledge, Kappa Alpha Psi will also present an award to Pahokee Middle High School for being the U.S. News Best Schools 2021 Best High Schools. And I do have an additional add-on item for, as it relates to a MOU for Pahokee Elite Track. And that is all that is scheduled for this evening.
Thank you, Madam City Attorney, City Manager, pardon me. Commissioners, having heard the agenda items that will be discussed, do you have any questions?
What's that MOU?
That's a memorandum of agreement, I believe.
Memorandum of understanding.
Understanding.
Yes. I'm gonna pass it out.
Any question in?
Do we have a copy of that?
I have that to pass out, yes.
Thank you.
If you would just kind of outline that memorandum of understanding so that when we get to that item, it probably be
Okay.
limited discussion needed.
This memorandum of understanding, MOU, will be between the Pahokee Elite Athletics track and the city of Pahokee. And it just speaks the language, if the commission approves, but what both parties are agreeing to in order for Pahokee Elite to be able to utilize the track field at Pahokee High School. And it would only be for the use of practice during June and July for the track team to be able to practice only on the track field. If the commission agrees to the agreement, then it moves forward to the school district. The school district has the final approval of the document.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Okay, you said that's for June and July. So what happens next track season? Do they have to go through this all over again?
Well, that will be if, so with that, if they choose to utilize what was presented to me was the calendar to use the field for June and July. If they wanted to use it for next year, they would have to either do a lease agreement with the school district or come back with ahead of time, because it's 45 days that has to be the time that is available to present to me or to the city manager what it is that they're looking to do. So moving forward, if they decide that they want to use the field for next year, they need to start the process, getting paperwork in, getting the, whether it's the MOU or the lease with the school district, that all needs to be presented as soon as possible, because this does have to not only go through the city, but also with the school district.
Well, it's my understanding that you could go either way. They could do a lease with the school or the county, which
Correct.
is very costly because it's $500 is just for the field, and that's with the discount. On top of that, they have to get security. So they could either do that or go through the interlocal agreement that the city already has with the school. So all they
if-
need is an approval from the city so that they could be added to the county and be approved, and they could have access to the track.
Okay, they wouldn't be added to the county, but what was presented to me from the, Mr. Johnson, was just for June and July. If that is something that he chooses to do, he has to come back and acknowledge, make a calendar saying that this is what we would like to do. Because from my understanding, speaking with him, it is only to utilize the track field for June and July for practice.
Excuse me, Mr. Adams. I believe Mr. Johnson wants to say something.
I-
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Just a couple of things, you know, it kind of, I'm hearing it, but I don't quite understand. We're going through a lot right now, trying to get this interlocal agreement between us and the city, done. When, others like Belgrade has the same agreement with their city, and they're just like a every year certifying type deal. And if I have to go through the same process again next year, it sounds like that we getting repetitive with it. I mean, if it's something that we doing this year, why would we have to do it again next year and again next year and again the year after? And then I'm trying to find out, it doesn't seem like we having the sense of urgency about the situation that's at hand. We've been off the track almost a month and a half now, and I mean, these are our kids. We running on the lake, looking at gators. I mean, we running snakes. I mean, it's got to be somebody that's gonna prioritize this situation, because I mean, it's terrible that we have to go through this, and we know it's really not this hard, because I've worked with the recreation department 20 years. We've did several interlocal agreements, and it's never taken this long for anyone to get an interlocal agreement to get our kids either on the football field, in a gym, or on a track. And I mean, and I've never seen it take this long. I don't know what's going on with it, but it bothers me to know that we have a need for our kids. Everybody looking for safety. Everybody want their kids to be safe. And I'm Ms. Bolden and y'all up there. I don't want to point in the fingers or anything, but these are our kids. These are family members of all of us up here. Everyone here has a kid on my track team that's a family member. Even at the schoolhouse, them A's and B's that being made, most of them my track kids, about the national award that they're getting ready to receive. So our kids out here battling to bring notoriety and respect to our community, which we have been doing ever since I've been a part of sports in Pahokee since I returned from college in 1997. And I've been working at this with our youth ever since that day. And I only brought great accolades and good accomplishments to the city. And I've been up and before this board with groups and groups and groups of kids, even the groups that I'm fighting for now to get on the track. We've been on the track. We've been up in front of this commission board receiving awards. And now these are the same kids that we're dragging our feet with. I mean, it's got to be a priority for somebody. Somebody had to say, okay, I'm going to take this bull by the horns and push it on through. And it's not a push-through type thing, but it is, because everybody here knows somebody. Everybody here knows somebody to get this done. And that's all I'm trying to say. This shouldn't be something that we drag our feet on. This shouldn't be something that we overlook. We've overlooked things with our kids in the past. Not just our board here, but with the school board. We gave away a state championship because us as a community dragged our feet. We gave away a state championship. It was not illegal about what happened. We didn't do anything illegal. The kid wasn't too old. But us as a community, we couldn't come together as one and do one thing, put together one piece of paper to fight for our kids. And I think we right in the same fight right now in the same type situation. Sorry for taking up all y'all time, but I really think this is a priority. Thank you.
Okay. Just a question, Mr. Johnson. On those previous memorandums on understanding you was referring to, did those organizations or group, were they directly under the city jurisdiction, or they were separate entities?
What meaning? Big Lake Track Club is what you refer to?
Not your particular organization. I'm just saying the previous one. You mentioned the fact that there have been several agreements that have been done by the city.
Yes,
and it was done pretty quickly.
Yes.
I think in most cases those that were done quickly were probably under the jurisdiction of the city. That means they was under the city as an umbrella organization.
Yes,
right.
City of Delray for one, I definitely know. Big Lake is another one, you know, that I know off rip. And there's a couple of principals been calling my phone, trying to offer us that track, want us to come over and stuff like that. And I think that's like a slap in the face to our community, you know. I really. And we haven't went anywhere since the time they put us off of Glade Central Track. And we haven't been anywhere. We've just been going out, and we try to keep it in-house as much as possible, but it don't look like it's an in-house situation anymore.
Mr. Johnson, I did send you the draft of the MOU, and you did sign it. It was a draft. The attorney has sent back another one. I forwarded that over to you today.
Excuse me, that's what I'm saying. Everybody who we talking about that we have to deal with, I think the person who you referring to is like, you guys are their boss, right? I mean, that's something excuse me, city attorney, I got a document coming. I need you to take a look at it. We need to take care of our kids.
And that has been done. That has been done.
I was here 2 weeks ago, and I only heard from you once.
Okay, but
in 2
also,
weeks.
like I said, it's a draft. And according to that,
But
okay.
they can't do anything with a draft. The school can't do anything with a draft. We got parents that are I wouldn't say dissing the principal, but blaming the principal for stuff that he can't even control. He has no idea of what's going on because he hasn't had anything before him to even fight for us. So we
Mr.
thinking
Johnson.
that he has the interlocal agreement. We thinking that, okay, once the principal get it, we can move along. But for the last 2 weeks, I was here 2 weeks ago, and for the last 2 weeks, we in the same spot we was in 2 weeks ago.
So basically, you want city manager, the
what I
city
want is the
to
kids back on
disregard what the ILA agreement states, where it states 45 days notice has to be given to the city, 45 days notice before we can even process. So you want me to disregard that and say, here, okay, I'll go ahead and sign off on yours because you asked.
So it sounds like politics instead of the
No,
kids.
it's
We're
not.
trying
It
to
is
make this
going
a
according
political
to
thing.
what a
That's what I'm
document
talking about.
says.
If we can get, all of us can come to a common agreement. It shouldn't be what we got to, those are our rules. Those are their rules. This is the board rules. The board can make a decision on our kids. I really think this is not like we asking for a loan from the state. We're not asking for y'all to pay for our security. All we asking for is an interlocal agreement, a partnership with the city. I work hard with these kids. I've always worked hard in this community. Upstanding.
So you will
And I'm just
agree to
trying
do a
say,
partnership with the
All I'm trying
city.
to say is this is something that if the board agrees to it, the principal agrees to it, those are the people that make things happen. I'm just saying, I just think we dragging this along and we missing valuable time on the track. It's starting to show on the track.
So you want me to disregard the ILA that is
ain't want
between
you to
the
do nothing,
school
miss.
district and the city, and you're willing to do a partnership with the city? That means you're going to volunteer, you're going to partner with the city, and then I can take this agreement, change the MOU, and move it to the school district, and ask the school district to move along.
You're gonna try to put this on me when I'm asking the city, I'm asking the commission for help. I'm asking for help. I'm asking for help. I'm not asking to run your job or do your job. I'm asking for help. I am again here asking for help again. All I'm saying is, can someone please put a little sense of urgency on it and can prioritize it just a little bit, because these are our kids.
Okay, at this point, look like we do have a MOU ready for the commission approval.
Yes,
The only
sir.
question now is it's really for 2 months. This is gonna take them throughout the track season. We can address that other part unless we're gonna go back to the drawing board, and we are gonna be where we were 2 weeks ago with no agreement, trying to rush now a new agreement. Let's get this one done. Let's allow them to practice and complete their track season, and hopefully we can, in the interim, work on making a long-term agreement if that's the commissioner's desire. But right now, she's following the policy that's there for the city, unless we're planning on just kind of bending it a little to accommodate.
Okay, with all due respect, as I understand it, once Ms. Adams signs it, it has to go to the district. Their attorney has to look at it because it went to our attorney. They have to overlook it. Then they have to approve it. Then it has to come to the school. And I was told by Mr. Denard, most likely that's not gonna happen in time for them for this season. That they could use it from then on, but his recommendation was, since it has taken so long and he still doesn't even have the hard copy, that, he do the lease. But they cannot afford the lease. So what he was trying to say is, you have the rules. This was an emergency situation. This is not a normal situation where you could have 40 days to do it. It was an emergency. As the city, and them being part of the city, and this being part of the kids, and they're placing finals or the competition is in August, that we should have just gone ahead, taken care of it, done what it had to do. I mean, they got $3 million liability. What, you have to check the liability?
No, that's been checked.
Well, that's what you told me was their liability.
I am not trying to stop you all at all. I'm just making sure that this agreement that we have with the school district, we're abiding by it. Because if anything happens, and guess what? That makes us look like a failure. That means that we don't abide by our contracts. I don't know what has been done in the past and how stuff has moved along rather quickly, but what's in here, I'm sticking to.
And
I'm
that's
sticking
fine.
to it,
The
and it's
problem is
fine.
it's taking too long.
I have the MOU, we have a resolution. It's going to be presented before the commission. Mr. Johnson will get a copy of it. I emailed it to him. He has a copy of it tonight. And if you're partnering with the city, as you say you are, as a recognized sports provider,
It's in writing, right? Did I give it to you in
That-
writing? That I was gonna partner with the city? I begged to partner with the city. I'm dying to partner with the city. I think I gave you that.
partnership.
So by you
can be-
asking me, will I partner with the city, I think that's sarcasm.
Nah, I beg to differ. But
Okay, we can move forward. At least let's get this agreement
Johnson,
can I
done to
ask-
allow them as much time as they possibly can have on that track. The other procedures for as the school district is concerned, that's out of our hands at this point. Once we get this document in their hands, then the clock is ticking on the school district to go ahead and expedite whatever they need to expedite. But I think we have at least reached some type of agreement that would allow them to use the field. I understand the concern of having this long term. Again, we can readdress that later, but let's get them those 2 months they are requesting and try to get that done as soon as we possibly can.
Mayor, what I'm trying to tell you, this is for 2 months. By the time they finish all their politics, the 2 months are gonna be gone. So what Ms. Adam is saying, then they're gonna have to start the process all over for the next season. So what we're doing now is not gonna do any good for them.
if Pahokee Elite wants to move forward, then we draft up a document now that says we're in partnership for next year. So that but right now, we get this done, as the mayor said, for June, July, and then right now, we start on whether it's our partnership to utilize the track field, we start on that now. Because with the school district, this ILA is up as of October. Language changes will happen. So if we start now, next year, everything will be in place. It's not waiting till the last minute.
So if it's renewed in October, why can't you just add them now? Let them go ahead and practice, and when it starts in October, you start with the new terms.
Give me another schedule. Because what I was presented with was just the schedule for June and July.
That's what they got left in this season.
Okay. So our ILA has to do with right now. And if we're moving next year,
It's not up until October, you said. It's still current. It
it's
doesn't expire till October. You have to renew by October.
correct. Our ILA with the school district will be revisited with the commission in October. Language changes and all that will take place. But what I'm saying, if you're asking to move forward right now, we move forward with June and July, what has been presented, and then we go tomorrow, if he gives me, track season starts February of 2022,
Yes.
give me the schedule for track season for 2022. Everything's already in place. That 45-day window is not a big deal because we've put things in place. So when next year comes, this conversation doesn't have to be had. We're all in partnership. We have an agreement, what Pahokee Elite is doing, what the city is doing, how we're benefiting off of each other. That's easy.
Can I ask, how long will it take if we sign this tonight? How long then does it take at the district to get approval?
We're not the
Do we have
district, so
any
I have no
idea at all?
control over that.
We don't have any idea at
But
all?
they're waiting on it. I think it'll have
They're-
to
I mean,
speed
we-
because they're
yes.
waiting on it.
I've been in conversation
Yeah,
with
let's get
Mr.
this and
Denard, so.
done. And like I say, we're gonna work as hard as we can to get
Maybe
the
we
extended
could
one for next
call
year.
Ms. Andrews and ask her to expedite it with the district. I don't know when the next meeting is.
She's supposed to be waiting on the paper.
Yeah.
Okay, time have elapsed for our workshop. We're gonna adjourn our workshop and we're gonna reconvene in the next 2 minutes.
I'd just like to say thank you for y'all time. I appreciate everything y'all doing for us, and hopefully we won't have to be back in this capacity, but I really appreciate it. I apologize, Ms. Adams, if our conversation got a little too heated, but I didn't mean for it to be that way. Thank
Accept
you.
your apology, mine as well.
That's nice.
I call this meeting of the City of Pahokee City Commission, regular commission meeting of Tuesday, June the 8th, 2021 to order at 6:31 p.m. May we please stand for the invocation provided by Deacon Bobby Coven, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Father, again, we come to you, Lord, for your blessings on the city of Pahokee in their city commission meeting. I just pray that you'll give our leaders special wisdom, Lord, to make decisions that will be pleasing to you. Bless in this meeting, we pray, in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mayor Bath,
Present.
Vice Mayor Boland,
Here?
Commissioner Gonzalez,
Present.
Commissioner Mervin,
Present.
Commissioner Perez.
Yeah.
Interim City Manager, present. Attorney Weeks. Present. Acting City Clerk, present.
Thank you, Madam City Clerk. Thank you, Commissioners. Thank you, staff. And thank each of you all for being here tonight to participate in our regular scheduled meeting of Tuesday, June the 8th. We're glad to have you. We're back in business. We're open. Hopefully and thankfully, COVID is getting somewhat under control, so that's a blessing that we're able to meet in person. We're going to move right along with our agenda. The first order of our agenda is the addition, deletion, and approval of the agenda item. City Manager, are there any additions to the agenda?
Yes, Mayor, there is an addition to the agenda, Resolution 2021-11, a resolution for the City of Pahokee resolution for the City of Pahokee approving a MOU between the Pahokee Elite Athletics Track and the City of Pahokee. And this will allow Pahokee Elite, you have been presented with a MOU that has also been presented to Mr. Johnson, to be able to partner with this Pahokee Elite Track to be able to utilize the ILA agreement between the City of Pahokee and the Palm Beach County School District.
Thank you. In addition to the addition, I would request that we just rearrange our agenda to have our presentations moved up, since we do have the school district, Canal Point here with the kids, and some of them are not seated, so at least to allow them to be in and out if they choose to leave prior to the meeting ending. And we'll move that up if it's the consensus of the commission right after citizen comments and public service announcements. We'll do the presentation. At this time, I entertain a motion for the approval of the agenda item as presented with the moving up of the presentations ahead of the agenda items.
Mr. Mayor, I motion that we approve the agenda with the moving of the presentations up and adding of Resolution 2021-11.
I second it.
It has been moved by Vice Mayor Bowden and properly second by Commissioner Perez for the adoption and approval of our agenda with the addition of the Resolution 2021-11 and the moving up of the presentation to the top of the agenda. Call for questions. Hearing none, are you ready for a vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Boland,
Yes?
Commissioner Gonzalez,
Yes.
Commissioner Perez,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Commissioner Mervin,
Yes.
Mayor Bab.
Yes. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Thank you, Commissioners. Motion passed by unanimous vote. Now we'll move to citizen comments, public service announcement, all items on the agenda. 3 minutes, please. Madam Clerk, do we have any public service announcement or citizen comments card?
Yes, we do. Okay. This comment is from Emmanuel Morel.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Emmanuel Morel. I wanted to introduce myself to this community as a candidate for the U.S. House of Representatives. I'm running in the special election on November 2nd to replace our dearly departed Congressman Alcee Hastings. I knew Alcee Hastings very well. I was a federal investigator for 30 years. We used to, when he was a federal judge, we used to go before his court, and we were always treated well. When he became a congressman, I continued to be amazed at the guy. No matter what he was faced with, he persevered. So I'm running in this special election again to replace him. One thing, I came out here to let you know that I did not come to take, that I came here to give. I pledged to donate 50% of the congressional salary to nonprofit organizations in the area, in the district. That's my pledge. Moreover, I pledge to fight for this area. I've been coming out here since 1983 as a federal investigator. A group of farm workers left this area and went to West Virginia to harvest apples, and they were held as slaves. And I was called upon to go and get them, and I did. And the farmers spent several years in prison. So I'm very familiar with the area. Again, the issues that I'm fighting for, I believe it's time for this country to take care of the least of these. Since January 20th, 1981, it has been the other way around. The time has come for a change, a complete change. Whenever we have wars, we never have any problem finding money to fight wars. But whenever it comes to take time to take care of our own, there's never any money. So my goal is to fight for the least of these. I run on a black agenda. A black agenda is a poor people's agenda. And that's what I run on. I want for forgiveness of student loans. It is an idea whose time has come. When I graduated from college, I will agree that it was before electricity. It was so long ago. But I came out not owing an arm and a leg. But now our kids come out of college owing an arm and a leg. It is time for this to end. This is the only nation, industrialized nation, that does this to its children. It's time to end this practice. I'm also fighting for the Green New Deal, which will create lots of jobs in this area and which will take care of the asthma situation that we have in the Glades area. And I wish you well. May God bless you.
Thank you.
Sharon Colvin.
I'm at 3096 Bacon Point Road. In the April meeting, the interim city manager said it was extreme importance to get the commission approval on the city manager, Chandler Williamson's final payout on his vacation and sick days, but nothing was finalized. We are now in the third commission meeting since that meeting, and it hasn't been on the agendas or old business. And I would like to know from the interim city manager if she or the mayor has signed a check to Mr. Williamson for the final payment.
Have we? Mr. Mayor? Can they answer that? Have we?
I haven't signed anything at this point. We can have Ms. Adams doing her report if she would like to answer that question. She's certainly able to.
I'll answer it in the report.
What was that?
I'll answer it in the report when I do my director's report. And I apologize if I mispronounced the name. Joetta Burgess, Pahokee Elite.
Good evening. I come before you this evening in representing Pahokee Elite Track Club. And I just know earlier you guys spoke on the district, and I just wanted to state that I did speak with Mrs. Andrews earlier today, and she expressed the same urgency that we did as the kids and parents. So the school district is on board, and they are ready to expedite whatever needs to be done in order for the kids to get back on the track. So again, just urging the urgency of whatever needs to be done so that the kids can at least get back on the track and continue to practice on their talents to qualify for these upcoming national events. Thank you.
Thank you.
Again, my apologies if I mispronounced the name. Tanzaria Allen.
Good evening, Tanzania Allen. I'm a resident and a voting citizen here in the city of Pahokee. In accordance with Florida State Statute 119, I will not be sharing my address. I have to write because I'm passionate about the youth in our community. So I'm going to read what I wrote. Since my son was 3 years old, I have traveled to cities outside of Pahokee for him to be able to participate in different sporting events. He's 5 now. He started in Stewart, where I took him to play soccer because I couldn't find a league for a 3-year-old. Learned about ASO soccer in Belglade. He came over. He played 2 seasons there. Now he gets to participate in track and field right here in the city of Pahokee. This kid loves Pahokee. Not only does he do that, once a week I take him to West Palm Beach for swimming lessons. So he's very involved. And to be able to train right here and compete for his city is an honor, not only for him, but to me. Pahokee Elite currently have record-holding junior Olympians on the team. And for us not to be able to get on the track, and I understand legality, so I understand it has to go that route. I also captured the last little bit of the meeting from the workshop. So let me get back on the reading. I'm asking that the city of Pahokee take the necessary steps to ensure that Pahokee Elite is allowed to utilize the facilities at the Ancoin Bowden Stadium under the city's interlocal agreement with the school district. This opportunity will be extremely valuable to many of the youthful citizens of our city of Pahokee. If y'all look around us, we have a shooting once or twice a week right here in the Glades communities. Not just Pahokee, but Pahokee, Belle Glade, and South Bay. And if we're gonna remove these kids, thank you. I don't wanna get too passionate about it, but I leave you with this quote. The representative John Lewis, before his passing, one of his philosophies was, when you see something that is not right, not fair, not just, say something. Do something about it, get in trouble, good trouble. And I'm willing to get in good trouble for our youth and on behalf of our youth of our city. Thank you.
Thank you.
In addition to comment cards.
No, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. And thank each of you all for the comments. And we'll move to our next agenda item, which is the moving up of our presentations presented by Kappa Psi Fraternity. I have our city manager give a brief introduction, and they can present their awards.
Thank you, Mayor, Commission. We will have Coach Eddie Rose to present our awards, acknowledgements to KEC Canal Point Elementary youth published author, Taylon Richardson, as well as have Coach Rose to present to the Pahokee Middle High School principal. Thank you.
Good evening. The Kappa Psi Fraternity, which just so happened to be the greatest fraternity in the world, just wanted to let you know and to give you a gist of our endeavors, how much we appreciate it, and when we see someone that achieves and someone move to another level, we think that they should be awarded. For a young man to write a book, and the book is being published and sold by Amazon, I think that's quite an accomplishment for a little city like Pahokee. And I haven't seen it or heard it. I've heard it a couple of places, but I mean, for nationally, I haven't heard anything about it. If somebody hurt or somebody steals something, or someone do something in Pahokee, the negative things, it's publicized in the paper, it's on TV, it's all over. Excuse me. And it's time that we start recognizing our own, because our motto is, in the West is the best. And truly, we have established that. Unfortunately, when we talk about the public and the perception that people get from the Pahokee, they think that means only athletics. But I have you know, for the last 2 or 3 years, if you look at the schools in our area, we have excelled and we have moved to another level academically. You understand? So for a young man to write a book, this is a book, it's on sale, Amazon, and I was hoping that he was here tonight, he could be here tonight so we could try to sell some of them. that's what it's all about, you know.
but the little young man is a great young man, and we wanted to recognize him. And the Brothers of Kappa Alpha Psi in our last meeting, they was adamant about we recognizing this young man and his family for an accomplishment like this, for writing a book. And I think you deserve a hand for that. The book is called The Adventures of a Worshipper. And this is a copy of it here. And Dr. Hill, I guess you guys can see him and he can tell you guys how you can get a copy of it. But right now, Dr. Hill, will you come up, please? His mother called me today, and unfortunately, they couldn't be here. I really wanted him here so we could see his little beautiful face and we could recognize him individually. But because he can't be, Brother Bear, would you come down and present this as a capital, please? We have a plaque that we have guided for him, and the plaque reads, "To Belgrade Pahokee Lunar Chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, special recognition presented to Talon Richardson, book author of Outstanding Student Achiever from KEC, Condell Point Elementary, presented June 8th, 2021. Dr. Hibbler.
Sarah Perez, Vice Mayor Regina Bolden, Commissioner Warren Gonzalez, along with myself and our entire city staff, along with Kappa Alpha Psi for presenting this distinguished award to this student given to the principal of the school. We are so honored and I'm so pleased to be able to present it directly to you on this day. Thank you.
Trying to vote Obama?
I'm not
Please.
Well, I'll get long-winded behind the mic, so I'm just going to make it brief. I'd like to thank Kappa Alpha Psi, as well as the commissioners, mayor, vice mayor, for this prestigious award. On behalf of Talon, and I will definitely make sure that he receives this award in high honors in another assembly at my school. I don't like to do it behind closed doors because I never kept this a secret. When this young man shared it with the teacher as I was in the room doing a class visit, he was telling that his book was on Amazon, and we thought he was kidding. And sure enough, the teacher stopped what she was doing and went right into Amazon and saw the book on the site there, and immediately she purchased it. I ran to my office and purchased the book, and I ended up buying the book also for every third grader in my school. Wow. He is a third grader. And as Coach Rhodes said, yes, we have to recognize more of the good than what we recognize in our area, in Pahokee, Belgrade area. And this will definitely be one that will do more than what he's doing now. This is his first book, and I'm sure he's going to continue to go further in his career, as well as bringing some others up too in the ranks of being a composer or being an author of a book or of some kind. So again, thank you all for this prestigious award, and definitely an honor to receive it on behalf of Talon Richardson. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next award just happened to be to a school that's kind of dear to me. The Pahokee High School, that name just for some reason has a ring to it that just makes you feel and think about success. Little small school. But I don't know if y'all realize it, it's known all over the world because this plaque reads, "For being selected by U.S. News and World Report as one of America's best high schools in 2021. I don't know if you know things that are happening in Pahokee. Mr. Nod had some kids that went up to NASA. And those kids, their prototype was used by NASA. I haven't heard that from anywhere else in Palm Beach County, well, Florida, really. High school kids. So they're doing things. Matter of fact, I was at school the other day, and they'll develop a robotics, the drone. I hadn't heard about drones in the air, but he showed me a drone that works on the ground like a robot, and you can program it. These things are happening right here at Pahokee High School, which you guys don't hear about. So sometimes we got to start recognizing these people. So the brothers of Kappa Alpha Psi, by living and thriving on achievement, we wanted to make sure that we recognize Mr. Denard and his administration, which is the greatest administration, happened to be in the state of Florida, bar none. Will y'all come up, please, Mr. Denard? Whole team. Take everybody.
We like the shirts, yeah.
This plaque reads, the Belgrade Pahokee Alumni Chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi Incorporated Special Recognition Award presented to Pahokee Middle Senior High School for being selected by U.S. News and World Reports as one of the America's best high schools in 2021, presented June the 8th, 2021. Give them a hand, please.
We have advanced our robotics program to even deeper, and we have also moved beyond just only our robotics program. But a lot of times principals receive the award to do all the talking, but I'm not going to do the talking. I'm going to have your very own, born and raised here and graduated from Pahokee High School to do the talking. That would be Miss Camilla Slidell and Dr. Erlene Goffin.
Former students.
We would like to thank you all for this special recognition. We have been working really hard to make sure that we bring programs to our school that will make this community proud. So that's it for me.
All right. Short and to the point.
Talk about being impromptu. Really, Mr. Denard? It is my pleasure to serve at the school in which I graduated from. And many don't know, or some of you may know, that the building that we're in, my class was the first that graduated and walked those halls.
My class was second.
Yes. So, and to see the strides and the accomplishments that has been made over the years has really been warming and touching. See, I'm from Pahokee, born and raised. I've done my education here. I went to the military, came back, finished up at PBCC, then completed at Nova, and then here I am. Started at KEC Canal Point, then I matriculated to Pahokee Middle High School. Principal Denard is one of 3 leaders that I've had the pleasure of working under, and it has been simply amazing. It has been amazing to see our students grow in our robotics programs, ROTC, and how we're taking them through the trenches of learning how to become entrepreneurs. So, on behalf of Pahokee Middle High School, under Mr. Denard's leadership, we are grateful to be administrators and then teachers and leaders at Pahokee Middle High School.
Okay, before we take the pictures, I want you guys to also know some more information. Ms. Cochran going to share with you about what our kids received last night.
Good evening, everyone. Yes, good news. 11 seniors. Mr. Eddie Rowe had the pleasure to be there with me last night. 11 seniors received full Florida prepaid scholarship, over $110,000 to go to college. It takes a village, and we are the village.
Smile pretty.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you.
Good job, Coach.
Mayor and Commission, thank you so much for taking out your busy schedule to allow us to make this presentation. We really appreciate it. And we want to leave this with you. Anything that you need from the Brothers of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, please give us a call. We're here for you guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And again, congratulations to the recipients, and thank Kappa Alpha Psi again for the presentation. We're going to move right along our agenda. The next agenda item is the approval of minutes. We don't have any minutes to approve. We don't have any consent agenda items, no ordinances. We do have two resolutions. First resolution is Resolution
Are we
20.
Are we gonna do the crime watch program? That's on
It's a
number
crime
3. You wanna go
watch.
ahead and do that one? Are you gonna do that?
I thought we were going to do code enforcement.
I was getting the
still got
students out, but we
Oh,
can go
okay.
ahead and do them all. They was all on the presentation. We can
Yeah,
do
the
it. since
crime
we
watch
said
is-
that, okay.
Crime Watchers.
We'll do the Crime Watch program presentation. Interim City Manager Adam, you want to recognize?
Yes, we will have Lieutenant Mike Kennedy and, I'm sorry, PBSO to present. Lieutenant Kennedy is going to give us an update for stats for Pahokee, as well as speak about the Crime Watch program. Thank you,
Good
Lieutenant.
evening, how are you?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Couple things tonight. Tonight's my last day out here with you guys. I was transferred to our warrants division, and Lieutenant Mugridge will be taking over my place. Very capable young man. Sergeant Stats will be speaking about the crime prevention stuff. I'm just going to go over some of the numbers with you guys. Crime is much better in the last year in Pahokee. I don't know if you guys have realized that. Most of the stats that I'm going to read to you is just a number on a paper, but a lot of these really affect the residents here. Take vehicle burglaries for an example. They're down 46% in Pahokee year to date. Residential burglaries are down 60%. Stolen vehicles are down 80%. Arrests are up this year, 97%. Traffic stops, which nobody likes to be one of those recipients of a ticket or a warning, they're up 258%.
Wow.
So we've heard a lot of the residents complain about some of the trucks. The commissioners have sent emails, city managers have sent emails to us about the trucks kind of going through Pahokee speeding. Hopefully you guys can attest to the reduction of some of those incidents. The guys are working really hard to try to make Pahokee a better place to live out here for you guys. We've transferred about 15 people out of the glades, and we've received about exactly the 15 people that want to be out here. So when you have deputies that want to work in this community, and a lot of them live out here, it's better for the residents in every way. You guys have any questions about some of the stats that I can maybe elaborate on, or?
I have one in particular, the traffic stops. I understand you say that's about 200%. In a good sense, that's good news. In another sense, it's not so much good news because, as mayor, I've heard a lot of complaints from residents being stopped, especially at night, for what appears to be, and I'm not an officer, so I can't say for sure, but this what they are saying, minor infractions. One incident, I was told a person received 5 tickets, 4 was for tinted windows. They gave them a ticket for each of their tinted windows. And they gave them a ticket for insurance. They asked for the driving license and they asked for the registration. They didn't ask for insurance. She presented them with her driving license and registration, and she said, you wrote me a ticket for insurance. You didn't ask for insurance. I have insurance here. He said, I don't have time for this. Take it up in court, and threw the ticket in her car and just left. So that's just one example, but I'm just a little concerned about the number of stops and whether or not they're warranted, especially at night. That can put not only the residents' life a little more in danger than what it would be during the day, but the officer in danger also by stopping a vehicle when it don't seem like it's that warranted. And that's just, I'm just sharing that from
I can speak
resident.
to a couple incidents. We received a couple complaints that I reviewed, and all 3 incidents were kind of taken out of context. Almost every traffic stop is video and audio recorded. So in the event there is some type of misbehavior on the officer's part, our sheriff doesn't tolerate any of it, and neither do we out here in the Glades under Captain Ludi. So we do address those complaints as they come in, but the last 3 that we've gotten, and I think one of them was this incident that you're talking about, we did review the videos. So some of the information I think you guys get it's maybe a perception from them. Nobody likes to get a citation, no one. But about 60 to 70% of the traffic stops that we conduct out here in the western communities, it's verbal and written warnings. We're trying to educate the public versus fine them. Usually the people that get the citations are we've stopped them multiple times, we've given them warning after warning, and then the end result is if they're not listening to the warnings that we're giving them, we're going to start issuing citations. So I would encourage the residents, if you guys have issues with the deputies that are out here or you feel like you've been mistreated, call us. Send an email to us. Let us look into it. You know, out here, a lot of the people out here don't have a lot, but we try to leave the residents, even on traffic stops, with their dignity. Okay, we respect them. We hope to get the same respect in return. This is what I ask all of my officers. You know, there's a way to talk to people and a way not to talk to people. Most of the officers and the feedback that I get from the community at the food drives and some of the other places are very positive. So I would encourage residents, if you guys have issues with the sheriff's office, bring it to our attention. The only way we can know to fix a problem is if we know about the problem. Fair enough? Okay. You want to talk about did you want to go over the crime prevention, the neighborhood watch things and something else? Oh, do you have a question?
I do.
Yes, ma'am.
We live on Bacon Point Road.
Mm-hmm.
On the weekends, there are kids, not just young kids, but, you know, young men, on motorcycles that are flying down. We're at the Mango Road. And just this, I don't know if it was this last week or the week before, I saw one car had to stop because one of the motorcycles had slipped and slide or something, and it had to stop to not hit the motorcycle, because the motorcycle was in the middle of the road. They fly by there. Some of them on the back wheel. It is so dangerous, and some of them don't even have on helmets. And if somebody comes out on 14th Street or 14th Terrace, there is going to be a bad wreck. I see this every weekend.
I can tell you we're addressing it as best we can. Most of these incidents, these young men on the motorcycles, they refuse to stop for us when we're trying to pull them over.
I understand there's no chase policy.
There is. The sheriff's office, well, here's
Is
the
that
explanation.
between the city and the sheriff's office?
It's the sheriff's office policy, unless it's a violent felony.
Okay.
And here's
Not having to do with the city.
Or no, it's not to do with the city. Part of the reason is we don't want to chase a car make the car go faster than kill an innocent family of four
Right.
because they're trying to run from the police. So we do our best to enforce the law.
Is there any way of possibly
Well,
getting a training program or something and trying to teach these kids?
Well, we've, in the last 6 months, we've introduced a traffic operation. I don't know if you guys have seen some of the things that we've introduced. You've probably seen a lot more blue lights out here than normal. That's all that we're trying to address. We get these complaints almost daily from the city, Pahokee, Belle Glade, all over the county.
Tell some of the cars to come and sit in my property.
No, listen, I'm with you. We're doing our best to address it, but, when you see it, call us. That's all we can do is respond out there.
They're gone by the time I can call you.
I know, but we're doing our best, you know. We've got behind, almost on a daily occurrence, they're running from us. You know, they're driving 80, 90 miles an hour, going in and out of traffic. And I tell my officers to turn around. It's not worth the risk of hurting an innocent family trying to chase a kid on a motorcycle. So we do the best that we can with it, but I actually agree with the policy. I don't want to endanger the lives of family members and kids and, try to chase, some of the kids who don't want to be advised by the law. Any other questions? You want to talk about this? Sure. That was your question, right? Crime prevention, how do we get like neighborhood watch, things like that
Yes,
started in the
yes, sir,
communities?
yes.
My name is Sergeant Stats. I run the community policing unit out here at Pahokee, Belle Glade, and South Bay. To be back real quick on the traffic issue, I did a traffic operation for 2 weeks. About 2 weeks ago, we did approximately 850 traffic stops. And I believe it was around 700 of those end up in a written warning. Okay, the rest were verbal and a few citations. So our goal was to educate everybody about the dangers of speeding, and hopefully, we've changed some minds of the people who have been driving aggressive lately. So we're working on it, so it takes some time. Okay. As for the motorcycle issue, that's a nationwide problem. It's not just, for some reason, they're getting on these dirt bikes and ATVs and they're running on the roadways. And like Lieutenant said, they're hard to stop when they don't stop. Okay, and educating them, it's going to take a partnership with the community and the sheriff's office, which leads me to the Crime Watch, or the Neighborhood Watch program, which I'm glad to hear that the community wants to start something up like this. But Ms. Adams, is that the city that wants to start it, or is there a resident who wants to start it?
The city has an interest, as well as we know that residents are concerned about it and we would like to be able to move forward and partner to see how we can get that in effect.
I know the National Crime Watch has their own website and so forth, Neighborhood Watch. We, Sheriff's Office, actually partnerships with the watch. We will have a crime prevention liaison who would be a deputy who is educated in Crime Watch. And they would be the liaison for the city or the residential group that wants to start the Neighborhood Watch.
Okay.
I used to work over in West Palm, Drexel area. That community started with the residents, and we partnered with they partnered with us, and they would say Neighborhood Watch, Crime Prevention. And the nights that they walked, we would make sure we had a deputy going out, or doing checks to make sure that they were safe. Obviously, we didn't walk with them the whole way, but sometimes if we had enough time, we would get out there and walk with them. So we like to build themselves, and we provide the tools, and then anything going on, they report to us. All right, it's an observe and report Neighborhood Watch, so we don't recommend, or actually they tell you, don't get involved with any crimes that are going on. Don't bring any weapons on the walks or anything. Don't confront anybody. Basically, you're the eyes and ears of the sheriff's office in places that we can't be, because we can't be in every place at all times. So we rely on the community to get involved, build that partnership. You all give us the information, either by 911 if it's an emergency. If it's a non-emergency, we'll give you the non-emergency number. And from there, we'll send deputies out and we'll begin an investigation or see what's going on into that particular matter. So it's fairly easy to start. I don't know if you have the webpage. I can, Ms. Adams, email you the link and so
Okay,
forth.
that'd be great.
And we can talk about it over the next week and get more information. I'll get everything I have over to you.
Okay.
And then when you get these residents that want to take some responsibility and start up this program, we'll be there to help.
Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Do they have some kind of training, or do they?
Yeah, we have, I believe there's a PowerPoint, the crime prevention liaison. And currently, we're gonna be having a class to get more deputies. Just like Lieutenant Kennedy said, over the years, we have deputies transfer to other units, they go to the East Coast, and we're getting new deputies and, individuals working out here. They don't have that crime prevention liaison capability. So we're trying to get some into a class coming up in the next couple of weeks, hopefully. And then from there, I'll assign a liaison or 2 liaisons, a night and a day shift, to make sure that the Crime Watch program has somebody to educate them on whatever matter at hand.
Me, myself, I think it'd be a lot more productive if the sheriff department could have, I don't know what you would call it, workshop meetings, where the officers could meet the community and get to know the community. I mean, you're constantly bringing new officers. They don't know. This is a small community. This is like one big family.
Right.
We all know each other, the kids, the parents, the grandparents. And a lot of times, once you get to know them, you get to see, well, this is not a troublemaker. This child just needs, I know that you're not here to father figure anybody, but, it's a small village and it takes each one of us, to do our part. And if we all do, I would love to see that. They
And
need
so
to
would
get
we.
familiar with the officers.
Yeah, absolutely. We, usually there's a homeowners association that we link up with, and they have monthly meetings, and we'll attend those meetings. So like
We
I
don't
said,
have that here.
we need to start something like that. Not a homeowner association or a community, or maybe at a church, maybe at a school or something like that, once a month.
Neighborhood
We'll attend it.
association.
I've been here for 5 years. I got promoted, I was sent out here, and I loved it and stayed out here. I'm the community policing sergeant. 3 of my deputies grew up in Belgrade and Pahokee. They went to school here, they grew up here, they know everybody. So we're highly invested in this area and in Pahokee, and Canal Point. So yeah, I would love to work hand in hand and come to those meetings and educate and I actually coached a police athletic league wrestling program. So I am highly involved with getting the youth into athletics and school and getting them into college. So when the track team was here, I was highly supportive of hearing that they had coaches and parents pushing that issue.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. So I can talk to Ms. Adams more about that as well, about the meetings. If we have this crime watch, I'm sure we'll have monthly meetings and then we'll attend them. Yeah.
We would love to partner with you guys too. If you guys want to set up like coffee with a cop or breakfast with the police, I mean, we would be happy to sit down and talk with the kids because out here, they won't talk to us unless they know us.
Exactly.
And we
It's
would
trust.
encourage
They
that.
have to trust you.
Right.
And to get to trust you, they gotta get to know you. And this is where, that's where the bond begins.
Absolutely. That trust.
Yes.
Absolutely.
We're happy to do it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry to see you go.
I'll be around when you guys.
Thank you. That's a good idea. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, now we'll move to where we left off as far as the agenda was concerned. We have two resolutions. The first resolution is Resolution 2021-10. City Clerk, City Attorney, could you read that into the record?
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Pahokee, Florida, authorizing the mayor to execute the revised interlocal agreement for the delivery of municipal solid waste to designated facilities and for a municipal revenue sharing recycling program between the Solid Waste Authority of Palm Beach County and the City of Pahokee, providing for adoption of representations, providing for an effective date.
Thank you, Madam City Attorney. City Manager, could you give us a brief overview of that particular resolution?
This interlocal agreement is an update of a previous resolution that we had with the Solid Waste Authority, with the interlocal agreement with the Solid Waste Authority from 2009, and it updates language in it that's in reference to the equipment that a company would utilize as it relates to anything from contamination to making sure that if a vehicle drops off a load, that load is not contaminated, but they will also understand that they would not be turned away if some garbage or trash in there is contaminated. They will still be able to process and move forward. So the language comes directly down from the state. And it's just an update, like I said, to the 2009 previous interlocal agreement that we've already had.
City Commissioners, having had Resolution 2021-10 proper read into the minutes by our City Attorney and properly explained by our City Manager, what's your pleasure? Meaning, I would entertain a motion for its adoption or at least move for discussion.
Mr. Mayor, a motion for discussion, please.
There a second?
Second.
It has been moved by Vice Mayor Boland and properly second by Commissioner Perez to move this resolution 2021-10 for discussion. Call for questions.
I have a couple. Yes, sir. Okay, so on the resolution itself, down, I guess, about the third paragraph, where it says, certain language to be included in all new contracts or renewed collection contracts between municipalities or counties with private waste haulers with the intended goal of reducing contamination in recycling. So my question to you, City Attorney, is this doesn't affect our current hauler? This only affects it when we do a new contract with somebody?
This is the law going forward. So it impacts the way that I guess the city conducts its it affects the way that issues are dealt with regarding the materials, and it's a change in the Florida statutes actually that is required. So what the ILA seeks to do is to incorporate the new language that's required for waste hauling procurement contracts. So if there is a procurement under the 403.706, it would relate to the procurement of those contracts. So in answering your question, for the current contract that you have in place, it's my understanding that that wouldn't necessarily be impacted. It's the procurement and dealing with the materials that the city manager just described earlier. And you can see the language attached to it. That's the actual legislative language.
Yes, ma'am, I see that. And then my other question is, I think I asked you this afternoon, did we find out, does our hauler, does he haul to SWA, the recyclables and all that, or does he haul to someplace else?
And it's someplace else, but in the contract, it's not specifically specified. But when we come up for renewal for that contract, we can designate to make sure that appropriate language in there, and we have a specific location that is clarified where they're hauling to.
Okay, so this is not going to require him to change anything in
Presently
his
not.
contract?
No, ma'am.
Okay. I think that was all I have.
Any additional questions? Hearing none, are you ready for a vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Vice Mayor Boland,
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez,
Yes.
Commissioner Perez,
Yes.
Commissioner Mervin,
Yes.
Mayor Bath, my apologies.
Yes. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Motion passed by unanimous vote. Now we'll move to our second resolution, Resolution 2021-11. City Attorney.
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Pahokee, Florida, approving a memorandum of understanding between the Pahokee Elite Athletics, a member of the Amateur Union of the U.S., Inc., to be considered a recognized sports provider pursuant to the October 19, 2016 interlocal agreement between the City of Pahokee and the School Board of Palm Beach County for municipal use of recreational facilities, providing for an effective date.
Thank you, Madam City Attorney. City Manager, could you give us a brief explanation of this particular resolution?
Yes, this resolution is for the Pahokee Elite Athletics track team to be able to utilize the interlocal agreement between the school district of Palm Beach County and the City of Pahokee. This will allow Pahokee Elite to utilize the track field to practice specifically for the days that they have specified in the documents that were attached for June and July.
Thank you. City Commissioners, having had Resolution 2021-11 properly read into the minutes by our City Attorney, properly explained by our City Manager, what's your pleasure?
Well, let me tell you, this thing, it's something that I don't wanna, take any time on, but, I mean, once again, I really don't appreciate giving this, right now, and being in the pressure that I didn't even get to read it or see what it says on here, but yet I don't wanna hold it because it wouldn't be fair to them. But I really don't have time to read and see what, I hope that they did and that they were okay with what it's saying.
We only got the first two sheets to that.
It's only 2 sheets to it.
And what is, because you said,
Mayor, you got to first put it on the floor to be discussed. No one motion it on the floor.
Yeah, we need to have a motion and a second, then we'll call for discussion.
well, last time we had one and you guys just went all over the place and we didn't even get to vote on it.
Yeah, I can't remember those, so we're moving forward and gonna try to.
Yeah, we never remember the past. Keep moving forward. Okay, put the motion so we could discuss it.
The chair is entertaining a motion for the adoption.
I'll make a motion to move forward for discussion, Resolution 2021-11.
Second
It has been moved by Vice Mayor Boland and properly second by Commissioner Gonzalez for the moving forward of Resolution 2021-11. Call for questions.
I have one. On this MOU, down under Pahokee Elite Athletics shall, and then it says, see Exhibit A, but I don't see an Exhibit A.
Exhibit A is in the ILA agreement, and Exhibit A will, once Pahokee Elite and the city partner, that will become Exhibit A.
Okay, but
I
it
didn't
says the
attach
June
the-
and July 2021 schedule.
Yes,
Is that
and
in the
schedule.
ILA?
The schedule is attached, oh, I'm sorry, I did not attach the schedule.
Yeah, that's what I
Mr.
was
Johnson, do
asking.
you have an additional copy of your schedule for June and July?
Not really.
Okay.
I just want to make sure, once we approve it, we've got everything, and we don't have to come back later and say, uh-oh, we forgot this or that.
That's the same one, okay, I have this, but also I have, what was forwarded over to me, is their schedule for June and July, as well as their track schedule.
Okay.
And that
thank
will
you.
be attached, with the MOU.
Thank you.
And that schedule comes directly from Pahokee
Okay.
Did they get a copy of the October 19, 2016 interlocal agreement?
I believe that they had already had a copy of it because they knew what the agreement said,
You have a copy of that?
the ILA.
The ILA from October 2016? Because you're saying that
No, the ILA.
Any additional questions?
Well, like I said, you know, it's even when you're giving somebody something saying that they're agreeing by other contract or other terms, how they gonna abide by it if you didn't even give them the interlocal agreement?
Well, okay, I did not give them the interlocal agreement because when Pahokee Elite came to me and told me what the interlocal agreement stated, I assumed that they already had the agreement.
So you recited the entire?
Years of doing it, you know.
So you know what it entails, so you're okay with it, okay. I just want to make sure.
I didn't actually see the actual one for Pahokee Elite, but I know exactly, you know, she's.
No, it's between and the county. That's the one that you're, you know.
I love to have a copy of it.
Yeah, we should make sure they get a copy.
Any additional questions?
If
Hearing
I-
none, are you ready for a vote?
Mayor, if I may, I have a question. Mr. Johnson, so we will have a partnership as so you will partner as a recognized sports provider to partner with the city?
Yes, I will.
Okay.
Pahokee in partnership with the city of Pahokee, that's what the email, the letter said, right?
This is what this MOU is about.
You know, on your trash days, I get to invite, get to bring the kids out, you know, community time thing.
Okay.
You know, that's what we
So
all
the
about right here.
specifics, we will approve this, the commission will approve this MOU, and then the specific details, we can go back to move forward and iron out how that partnership will look.
Yes, as long as it's not anything that's just mandatory, you know what I mean?
No, it'll be based upon the MOU, and it'll be based upon the agreement between you and the city manager.
But you won't have to do that before they send it off to the school board, correct?
No, this is
Okay.
just for them to be able
All
to
right.
practice.
I just want to make
and-
sure it's not going to hold
Yes.
up anything going to
No.
the school
Any
board.
additional questions?
Mr.
Hearing none?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I just want to point out that the reason why I think the interim city manager is asking that question is because the ILA actually specifies that that anyone that the city is recommending, like it will be doing, it will be a recognized sports provider, and it actually uses that term in the ILA. And so it's important for the city to know whether or not they agree to be a recognized sports provider according to the terms of the ILA.
Any additional questions? Hearing none, are you ready for a vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Vice Mayor Boland,
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez,
Yes.
Commissioner Perez,
Yes.
Commissioner Mervin,
Yes.
Mayor Bath.
Yes. Motion passed by unanimous vote.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Go win them all.
Now bring a
There
bunch
is
of
no
gold.
public hearings. We do have one proclamation, Code Enforcement Officer Appreciation Week, June 7th through the 11th, 2021. City Manager.
This proclamation is for Code Enforcement Officers Week, Appreciation Week, June the 7th, 2021. Whereas the, do I read this? Or you read it, City Attorney?
You can go right ahead. I don't have it.
Whereas code enforcement officers provide for the safety, health, and wellness of the citizens in this community through the enforcement of building, zoning, housing, animal control, fire safety, environmental, and other codes and ordinances. And whereas code enforcement officers are often not credited for the jobs that they do in saving lives and improving neighborhoods, and whereas every day, assisted by support and program staff, they attempt to provide quality customer service to the public for the betterment of the community. And whereas too many times their efforts go unnoticed, even after code compliance has been accomplished due to their efforts and expertise. And whereas code enforcement officers are dedicated, well-trained, and highly responsible individuals who take their jobs seriously and are proud of their department and the local government within which they serve. And whereas the Florida Association of Code Enforcement, FACE, has declared the first week of June be set aside for local government to honor and recognize their code enforcement officers. Now, therefore, Mayor Keith Babb, City of Pahokee, do recognize the week of June 7th through June 11, 2021 as Code Enforcement Officers Week, and further extend appreciation to our Municipal Code Officer, Elia Dean, and to all code enforcement officers for the vital services they perform and their exemplary dedication to the communities they represent. Done this 25th day of May, 2025.
Yes.
I have Ms. Dean come up to accept this on behalf of the code enforcement officer.
Yeah, that's it. Give her a crown.
On behalf of the Focus Commission, Commissioner Clara Mervin, Commissioner Sarah Perez, Vice Mayor Regina Foldman, and Commissioner Juan Gonzalez, along with myself and the entire city staff. We would like to present you to accept this on behalf of the code enforcement officers. We do appreciate your services to the city and the community. We know you have a difficult job. At one time, I don't know if they still do it, code enforcement used to have badges just to keep the public at bay. It's not an easy job. I don't know which code enforcement officer ever received a handshake when they issued a citation.
You never forget her,
It's a
though.
worthwhile job and it has to be done. And I think they do it with dignity and type. So thank you for a job well done. We'll make sure that you personally receive a copy and we have a copy on file at City Hall.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
Thank y'all again.
Thank you. Good job, darling.
Check this in the mail.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we're done with the proclamation. Well, resolution we did. We don't have any proclamation. Well, that was a proclamation, I'm sorry. We've done presentations, and now we're down to the mayor's report. I would make this brief as I can. Don't have any notes, so I'm gonna just have to speak from the heart. We received some disappointing news today that the Marina Restaurant lease agreement has been temporarily pushed back to August. Don't agree with the rationale behind it, but it's the state and we have to accept their decision to do that. I also just want to caution and inform our commission. I know some have the impression or understanding that there are a second lease agreement. That's not the case. There's only one lease agreement. That's from JP DT Holdings Incorporation. The former lease agreement with ERH, Everglades Reserve Holding, is not a valid lease agreement. The owners of that company at the last minute decided that they wanted to delay it after a year of it being in a hold status. We moved forward and beyond that. And the reason I'm bringing this up, there have been some that would like to have ERH and the current leasee, potential leasee, negotiate, work together, make some type of arrangement. If they choose to do that on their own, that's fine. But that's not something I don't think, to my knowledge, they are in agreement with. I've heard there are some commissioners who have called the state personally themselves to try to delay it. I'm not sure how appropriate that is, but I would at least caution you, since we do have an active lease that's sitting on the governor's desk that we're hoping to be approved, that you allow the process to work itself out. There are some that have questioned my contact with the state. I've contacted the state one time in response to a question he asked. And as the mayor, I am the official sportsperson for the commission, so I have the authority to do so. Particularly when we have voted on a particular item. When I mean by voted, I'm talking about the vote that was done to approve the original lease with this group. That was done in October and approved in October, some 6-7 months ago. So I had the authorization and the right to speak on behalf of the commission to at least give that point of view from the commission at that point. Secondly, I know everyone wants to raise the standards of our city employees. And that's okay to do that. It's okay to run the city as a business, and I'm in agreement with that. But it also should be okay to treat each of those employees with respect as a valuable employee. We can't belittle them. We can't harass them. We can't yell at them. We must treat them with respect, even if we don't think they're doing what they should be doing. And just to remind the commission, there's only 3 staff that the commission, directly outside of the commission, should be directing or inquiring about information, and that is the city manager, the city attorney, and the city clerk, our 3 charter officers. Anybody else, you must say that they're off limit, not so much speaking hi and bye or friendly conversation, but demanding items or paperwork or whatever it is. And there have been some occasion that sometime we pass that line in the sand, and I'm just asking us to think about that when we interact with our commission staff. And the last thing I would say that I would like for this commission at some point, sooner than later, is to readdress and relook at rezoning, reannexing properties and areas into our city. And that even including, I'm talking about voluntarily. That means they need to be willing to want to come in. Just a feasibility study would say, if we annex this area, could we as a city afford the cost associated with it? And then you have to take in consideration also the additional tax base that we receive. And even if they're non-homeowners, the census count would go up in dollars on that alone would increase. So there's some offset to some of the costs associated with annexation. And the reason I'm bringing it up, I think we last studied that about maybe 4 years ago. It was costly, it appeared to be costly, but we didn't do a official feasibility study at that time. I think the only information we received was from the Palm Beach County Sheriff Department, how much it would cost for the additional patrolling of those areas. But to be perfectly clear, I'm talking about Canal Point as a possibility, Frame Village, Paget Island, Dove Land, and any of the surrounding areas. So we can expand our areas. In addition to that, people should be able to formally participate in the electoral process of our city. And that's something I'm going to ask this commission to consider, and hopefully we can at least do the feasibility study so we can determine whether or not it's feasible or not for us. And that will conclude my mayor's report. And now we will move to the city manager report.
Good evening, Mayor, Commission. Barfield Highway signage will go up this week to just overview sign that lets you know it will be one that's at the start of 7th and Barfield, one that'll be at East Main and Barfield, and one that'll be in the middle. We picked the signs up today, so they will go up. Today is Tuesday, by Thursday or Friday. We will also have a VMS board that will go up end of next week or the previous week. So you will start to see movement out there. The trailers will be put up hopefully in the next couple of weeks. There has been some issue with the piping, so and that's on the manufacturer's end, but we're still moving forward, so things are moving along. Parks and Recs Department, there will be a Father's Day kickball that will occur on the 19th of June from 11 to 2. You are required to pre-register if you're interested in participating. Hot dogs and water will be given out that day. Parks and Recs will also be holding a car wash on the 26th of June. It is $10 for the wash, $15 for wash and vacuum, and that'll take place from 8 a.m. to 12 noon. There will be moving on June the 25th, Friday, June 25th. And so we will open up about 7:15 at Commissioners Park, and the movie will start about 7:55, 8 o'clock, depending on. Put everything in place. There's the ultrasound waves that are put in place. They're out there right now. So we're looking at the middle of next week to be able to open up the marina. Trying to think of anything else I missed out on my notes. In reference to the payout that was asked about, there was a contract for the former city manager. I believe that the payout was not for discussion. So if payout is to happen, it is actually not for discussion because he had a contract. I know that the commission has asked to receive the backup of the days that he was out. I think you all received that. If not, I will re-forward that to you all. So, but the city manager did have a contract, and us not paying out causes a lawsuit. So we have to take that in consideration. And that's the end of my
So it
city
has not
manager's
been
report.
paid.
As of right now,
And before we move into the city attorney report, if she has one, I just want to make this statement as mayor. Ms. Adams, this would probably be her last commission meeting as the interim city manager. But I would just like to personally say that she have done an outstanding job.
thank you, Mayor.
She receiving 30% of the previous city manager pay, which is a saving of 70%. And I'm gonna say this without any reflection on Mr. Lucas, and I think he would do a great job. But we have someone here in-house who, without a question of a doubt, has just done an absolutely great job. She's gonna listen to her commission, which is her boss, but in the same token, she's gonna do the right thing, even on tough decisions. I done went and spoke to her and said, we're gonna speed that up. We're gonna have to find a way to get this done. And she'll tell me, we don't wanna open up any cans, we wanna do it right. And I can't do something for one individual that I can't be expected to do it for everyone. So even the mayor is not gonna stand any pressure to her, and everybody got their opinion, and she know my point of view on a point here or there, but she has the freedom and the flexibility to make her own tough decision when it comes to serving this community. And she has worked tirelessly. She has worked dually as the clerk, as the community development director, and as the interim. And we would have been greatly served if she would have held on to the interim till we hired a permanent, but that's, we discussed that and we're not going back on it, but I just like to personally say that.
Thank you, Mayor. I
I just
appreciate
have a
that.
lot of confidence in what she has been able to accomplish. And during this interim period, we haven't missed a beat. And I hope the progress of whatever we're moving towards continue.
Thank you.
Now we'll move to our city attorney report. Is she
I have
has
a question for the, what's the status on Ms. Francis?
Ms. Francis is still the finance director. However, she is no longer full-time, she is part-time, and she has agreed to do that as an assistant to me, to the city manager, because without her, we have one staff in finance, and that one staff would not be able to make sure the bills are paid. Finance is running this, I mean, we can't pay bills, we can't do anything. So Ms. Francis is part-time, she works remotely, but she does have a full-time job. She has accepted a job somewhere else. And until we have replaced the finance director's position, and the position is on the website, I have received resumes, Ms. Francis is part-time, and she's agreed to assist me. And without her assistance, we would fall really, really behind, because like I said, we have one person outside of Ms. Francis that is currently serving in the finance department.
So she's working part-time on weekend from her house.
Yes, ma'am. And she works during the week.
Got access to the
She's always had
computer and the
access.
finances.
She's always had access to that. So as finance director, the only change is part-time, because she's always had access to that. Without a finance director, that means that I also would have to serve in that capacity. And that is, Commissioner Perez, absolutely impossible to do. Finance director has to make sure that that checks and balance and is moving forward. And not only that, right now, we're about to be in deep water because we have a budget year. We have a budget that is for the next year is about to start. We have trim that is about to start. We could be sanctioned if we fall behind on the reports that we have to submit to the state as they relate to our finances. So if Ms. Francis would have just resigned, I don't know what we would have done, because even without one person that's in there doing payables, doing accounts receivable, we need a finance director. We would need someone in that seat immediately. And no one, even the new interim that's coming in, would be able to move and do that budget and do trim and everything, because it's going to take all of us. It's going to take staff that we already have that has sat in the finance office to help us assist with, okay, this is what we need to be able to move along.
Okay, we're going to move on now to the city attorney's report if you have.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. One of the things that, I think I need to just bring to the City Commission's attention is the fact, and I've been very proud of the fact that since I've been here the last couple of years, there's been no issues from a legal standpoint, no IG new issues that were here when after I came, no ethics issues and the like. And one of the things that I am seeing that is giving me pause, I've mentioned it to staff, it hasn't been changed, but I want to just say it publicly so that everybody is on the same page. What I've asked staff, I know you all have asked to receive information that everybody gets. I get that, and I get the fact that when one commissioner gets it, everybody wants to get it. But what I've asked staff to do, and I'm saying it now publicly, is to send that information, but blind copy you all, because I don't want you to get in a position where there is said, or somebody looks at something and there is even a reply to something that somebody's writing, and it ends up being a sunshine issue and it gets everybody in trouble. So I'm saying it publicly because I think it's that important that it is elevated to this level, and you all are aware that it's really not okay the way some communications are going right now. Nothing's happened so far that has been a violation that I've seen, but I am saying it publicly so that it doesn't become an issue. And I'm asking you and asking staff, so when they write you back, in other words, if you all write, don't reply all, write to staff, and if staff wants to give the response, they should give the response as a blind to you all individually as opposed to everybody at one time, so that somebody doesn't inadvertently write back and now you have a problem. Okay, so that is something that you need to know. The other thing, and that's something that I feel incumbent upon me as your legal counsel, to say it and to let you all know, because my role, I believe, is to keep everything from a legal standpoint steady, which I'm happy I've been able to do so far. The other thing, we're also happy that we're able to continue to collect surplus funds, foreclosure funds for the city. We have a check that I'm going to give to Ms. Adams tonight, and another check that she just did a release for last week. We'll be able to get back for the city, so we continue to be able to do that, and pleased to be able to get funds back for the city when available. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Now we'll move into our old business, and this is some business we really need to try to, if we can get done tonight. The city clerk, we're all aware we interviewed 2 city clerks. One was a previous city clerk, one was a gentleman out of Miami-Dade who has been working with the election office there. Our HR have tabulated our scores. I haven't been previous to you know, who rated what. So we'll be able to share that through our city manager. We'll decide whether or not we want to accept that person and offer them the position. We have to consider that Ms. Warner salary request has been $75,000 to $85,000, which our advertised cost for the city clerk was around 52, I believe. So all of that have to be in consideration. So I'm going to turn this portion over just to Ms. Adam, kind of give us the score, how they rank, and then we can take it from there to see where we want to proceed with.
Mayor, Commission, as of this commission meeting, I believe there is still, we're without one rating from the commission. I believe that our HR manager says she's still waiting on one rating sheet.
Okay, and I'm not gonna put anybody on the spot, but that's serious. I mean, unless that person just gonna forego voting on a city clerk, I mean, we're talking about a position where Ms. Adam has had to do 2 roles for the last month now. Ms. Polanco had went as far as she can go with the acting clerk. So this is a position we got to hire, you know, even if it means paying a little more than we are comfortable with. And then I have at least a suggestion how we can reach towards that without paying the full amount. Hopefully they would agree with it. But going back to the person who haven't completed that, and I mean, it's open, this is a public meeting, so if I'm not sure what's the reason is, somebody may want to explain, I can get my rating in, or I don't care to rate neither one of the two. We need to know what's going to happen and how we can proceed and move forward.
Okay, I believe that you're speaking about me. I have not turned one in. I did not ask any questions, so I didn't know that I had to do any rating.
Okay.
I didn't get any forms. I don't know, I mean, I heard that during the discussion, but I didn't know what they were talking about.
Okay, I didn't ask any question neither, but I rated, I did ask the HR to make sure she put a form in each of the commission who didn't have the opportunity to print it out. But
I believe those forms were emailed as well, but.
Yeah, I didn't get it.
I do have copies of forms, so if you need a rating form, I can give you a rating form.
I don't have any problems with
Okay.
that.
so based on the 4 ratings, I mean, it's gonna be up to you. You can actually submit your ratings, say tomorrow, we can tabulate them up, or you can look at what the 4 commissioners have rated and decide whether or not you're comfortable enough to say, yeah, if I was rated, that would have been my first choice anyway, and go from there. I'd hate to delay this another 2 weeks. I would definitely have to try to call a special meeting, but we can get around that without you physically. You can submit something, but tonight you can say, based on the rating now, whether or not that would have been your number 1 choice. I don't know.
Well, I know what my number 1 choice is, so.
Right,
Okay.
if we each know who we want to vote for already, why would the ratings matter? If we already know more or less who we support, who we don't support.
Well, the rating,
It gives
depending on
Ms.
how
Ramsey.
close they are. Say if you 1 or 2 points apart, and you got now someone who maybe, say, I want $30,000 more than you all are paying. Then you move to the second one. I mean, it's half some of bearing, but you're right. If we all probably decide the same person, that's the person I think we would at least offer it first to negotiate a contract, at least a salary with that individual. So let's go ahead and do it that way.
Commissioner
the
Perez,
rating.
you want the sheet, just to have it for documentation?
And we'll start with you, Warren. Who was your first choice out of the 2?
Mr. Warner.
Ms. Warren. Vice Mayor?
Mrs. Warner.
Commissioner Perez?
Ms. Warner.
I think my tally, if I'm not mistaken, was like a tie.
Okay. And rated Ms. Warner the top one also. So it appears the majority, even with the tie, it's like a first vote anyway. So it's a unanimous choice to be offered the job as city clerk. Now we need to decide, are we comfortable with paying her well above what was advertised? Now take it this way, I start the conversation. I looked at maybe 60,000, and every 2 years for the next 5 years, we could give her a 2% increase. They're gonna bring her up a little over, or right at 75,000 in 5 years. I looked at the average medium salary in the U.S. and the average medium salary for a city clerk in Florida, and they all was well below that number that she's asking for. But she is certified, she done worked here before, she don't have to be trained, and if things don't work out, all of our charter officers is under the same premise where they work at the pleasure of the city commission. But I don't know if I would want to try to start her off with 75,000. You're talking about at least 20-some thousand over, above what was advertised if you do that. But it's up to the commission. Again, we have to look at finance too and see if we got enough to sustain it too. If you gave it a 75,000, but my recommendation would be to offer 60 with 2% annual increases over the next 5 years, with her knowing that that's gonna bring up to about 75,000 in 5 years. So I'll have the vice mayor kind of chime in and see what her recommendation of how she would approach it if she was doing it.
Well, I think that's probably a pretty good idea. I think more the research that I did for municipal city clerks that have all the education and everything that she has and the experience, I came up with closer to 65 as an average price that you would pay. And then working toward, I like the idea of, you know, over a certain amount of time, we if she's doing well and we feel that she's done a good job, then we bump her up each year until she gets to somewhere where she feels really comfortable. But I would suggest that we do something around 65 to start. And I would think that at least this year, based on the money that we didn't spend on the city manager the last few months, that might make up some of it.
But they're gonna make up very little because of
yeah.
the payout gonna
Right, right.
out.
But, I mean, when it comes budget time, we're really gonna have to look at the numbers real tight to see how we sustain that
So you're thinking
next
that
year.
starting at 65 versus 60?
I think we're not gonna have to do any training. She should be able to hit the ground running, and that's gonna be a big factor in my decision.
And also, when you speak of salary, keep in mind that you do have to salary, but also benefits and all that is encompassed in. So when you say 65, is that a whole 65 as a whole, or 65 just a salary? So please keep those things in mind.
I was speaking about 65 salary. Yes, ma'am.
Well, can we get an idea of what the rest of like the finance director and HR and the other positions, an idea of what their salary is or the range?
Well, city clerk is a charter, as the mayor said, a chartered position. That those job responsibilities are also different. So I understand looking at salaries and ranges, but you also have to take into consideration each one of those directors' responsibilities, you know, them overseeing a full department, overseeing staff, the qualifications, what they do on a daily basis. But we can bring that to you with if you do request salaries, I just wanted to make sure that you understand the chartered officer and the city clerk position.
Yeah, I'm well aware different positions have different qualifications, you know, but overall, they're like executives.
But it
And,
is
I
still
mean,
based on the departments and how much that department is responsible for.
Yeah, basically, she's not gonna have any secretary or assistants.
Yeah,
She's
just
gonna
like
be doing
community
all her
economic
work,
development. Yeah,
which the other ones basically got people under them.
Well, as community economic development, it's just me and my department. So, but I will get that information for you.
So in
I'm okay with the 65 and working her up.
Commissioner Mervin?
Well, I can go, I know we gotta look at the budget. I know our budget said, 52. I know I'm comfortable with the 60 and the 2 years up. I know and she is well informed on what she does. You know, we worked with, Mrs. Warner before. And, but just to jump off 65, then you get the benefit, then that's gonna still jump her up to about $75,000. So, 60 to start with too, you know, and you say experience, you know, she had 2 years experience here in the city of Pahokee. So 60,000 from what she was making, that's still, I think that's almost 20,000 more than what she was making when she was here. So I think 60,000 with the 2 years, I think that's a pretty good job.
Yeah, I don't know what she was making when she left. I think it was maybe 55 because she got that raise after being certified, but I'm not 100% sure. Commissioner Gonzalez, what's your thought on salary range?
Well, personally, I can agree with Tasha, 60,000, but I can also agree with the 65,000. The only issue that I would have is that she's been here before, right? She knows everything. Why should she have to wait 2 years to get that 2%? Why not after the first year?
No, we didn't. Yeah, after the first year, she will. That's what I.
Oh, okay, I
suggested.
misunderstood that.
Yeah,
I thought you said after 2 years.
No.
She starts to get the 2%.
Right. No.
Okay, so yes.
So yeah, after 1 year.
Yeah, 65 and 2% after the first year.
Okay. So another consideration we could offer, split the difference between the two. That would bring 62.5 to offer. And she may counter that, she may not, she may accept it, hopefully she will. So that's what we would,
Now, sorry to interrupt, would it be possible if, as Pahokee progresses, I'm very positive with the commission, that the city clerk, she were to, like I say, if it comes out real good for her, is there a way we can bump up the percentage after the second year?
let's do it this way, a minimum of 2, that would give you flexibility, saying that it's etched in stone that that's all she would get, but it'd be at least a minimum. Once you do those figures, it's gonna get her what I was really trying to do within that 5-year range, was to kind of get her to where she wanted to be without giving it to her immediately. But it was just a stage increase. But yeah, in the second year, you want to say 3%, we could do that, but we'll look, to sit at a minimum, that's what I'm suggesting.
Right, because I hate to see a good employee leave again.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? So the only way to keep a good employee is by treating them right and good pay.
That's not making this.
I agree.
You know, so you need to, so take that very close, you know, because you got employees that's listening that wants that bump also.
And they are directors.
You know, and they're directors, then just the even public works department, it doesn't matter. They all want, you know, an increase in salary. So make sure you take that consideration.
Right, I agree, but we're talking about the
So,
city clerk right now.
and look at your budget, you know, as they say, our budget haven't gone up any.
Yeah, one thing about a
Where that money would
contract
come
for your chart officer, you can do that where you can't kind of guarantee any percentage for your regular
Right, nothing's guaranteed,
staff. So,
right.
yeah.
And
But
you
it has
still
to
got
be
an
budgeted.
interim city manager coming in with the same salary as your last, in terms of all of that. Take all of that stuff into consideration. Your budget has not changed. Your budget has not gone up any. So it's still what it is. So you gotta take
And-
all that into consideration.
Where those dollars would be coming from. So if we bumped it up, we allocated in the budget for 52. So where would those dollars be coming from for those additional dollars? So
Right.
keep that in mind.
2% is like next year, not this year, so it's not within our
Right.
budget right now.
And the
That's
thing
something
is
to
that
work
you're
on.
gonna get qualified people with experience up there, not, what we've been used to. People that are qualified, that have experience, that know what to do, that will come in and will take off. Not like the blind leading the blind.
Time's money.
So the
Wow.
consensus is
So you pay
62,
for what you get.
62.5
Yeah, but I don't know if you got blind leading blind, but,
starting.
okay.
Okay.
So we're looking at 62.5 with 2% bump. Okay, I'm good with that.
Now, I guess we would have
Our HR department
yourself
too.
and HR reach out and see if we can negotiate that. If not, then we have to go back and relook at it, revisit it.
All right.
That's what okay, so that's out of the way. Next on the.
Do we need to vote on that?
Yeah, we can, yes. I entertain a motion for the appointment, hiring of Ms. Warner as our new city clerk with a starting salary of 62.5 with 2% annual increases for the next 5 years.
I'll make a motion that we do that.
Been moved by Vice Mayor Boland,
Second.
second by Commissioner Gonzalez. Call for questions. Hearing none, are you ready for a vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Vice Mayor Boland,
Yes?
Commissioner Gonzalez,
Yes.
Commissioner Perez,
Yes.
Commissioner Mervin,
Yes.
Mayor Bab.
Yes. And if you could, we'd have to tell her, I know customarily they're gonna have to give their former employees like 2 weeks' notice, but we need her to start immediately if she accepts the job offer. When I say immediately, at least within 2 weeks, we wanna be able to start and wanna get an answer.
Well, didn't she say that, if she was in the interview, she said if she was hired, she needed, I forgot what
Yeah, I think
time
everybody
period
normally
she
is normally
said.
I think
2
she
weeks.
said 2 weeks,
Yeah,
didn't she?
that's
I
kinda
think that's what I
normal.
remember.
Okay. So now we'll move into new business, which is the City of Pahokee Advisory Board Committee. And City Attorney Adam, if you want to kind of go into that.
Yes, I have sent out the board applications, board and committee applications to all the commission. I still have to get them up on the website if I have not put them up there already. But we do have openings. We have one opening on our ZAP board, and I do have an application that I will get to you all. But the other boards, we need you all to get those, the word out and those applications if people are interested.
Ms. Adams, with those applications, can you put up the requirements of each board? Because if I remember correctly, some of them, they had to be a resident of Pahokee, some of them they didn't.
I think all of our boards, they have to be a resident, if I'm not mistaken, of Pahokee, but I will go back and check to make sure. I know that in the past, when I first started, we had the board that was functioning was Community Economic Development. We had us that board, and I think it was one other board that were functioning. One thing that I do want to emphasize is whomever the residents are that want to participate, they need to continue to participate, not just begin, because that has been an issue in the past. Continuity to make sure that it's continuing. our board members will fall off.
I know there's one board, and I can't recall that particular board that one of the
Thinking of two, I
And the
think it was
Economic
economic
Development Board,
development, that's
yes.
why I was
Yes.
asking. Yeah.
Okay, and there are some just semi-misleading information out on Facebook, and I know the person not doing it out of ill intent, but they're saying for you to contact them if you have any questions or concerns, and they even gave their not Facebook page, their email address. That's misleading
Correct.
to the public. If they're gonna do that, hopefully they will put a statement, this is not a City of Pahokee announcement, because we have our own announcement.
Our community boards are run under the commission. The commission appoints the board members, so it's not just you putting in the application and saying, oh, I'm on the board. You put in the application, and commission is the ones that appoint the boards. And that is specified in our ordinance, in our charter. So, and each department head does have a part on that board, because either we're taking minutes, but it is not just those individuals taking off and running and doing their own thing.
And if we can, we want to encourage our residents to fill out an application, even if the board is filled. That way that there are, for future consideration, if there's an opening, they already have an application on file. You don't have to do it that way, but it's best if you would do that, and check whatever boards you would like to be considered for.
If I could, just so people will know what boards are available, because it goes out on YouTube, it's Code Enforcement Advisory Board, Economic Development Board, Pahokee Housing Authority, Beautification Advisory Board, Parks and Rec Advisory Board, Cemetery Advisory Board, Community Relations Board, Youth Council Board, Zoning Adjustment Planning Board, Education Advisory Board.
And I believe that the Pahokee Housing Advisory Board is filled, but as Mayor stated, please still put in an application if you are interested.
Yeah.
I have a question. This board, how long is the term?
I believe that the term is
2 years.
2 years.
2 years,
But
I
we
think.
have never, unfortunately, our board members will drop off before we even get going after 3 months, 4 months. That board has been consistent, but that's why I said to emphasize whoever you all choose to participate on the board, those individuals, when they apply to be on the board, they need to make sure that they have the time to be able to give to the board, because it will meet at the same time every month, but you have to participate.
Once a month?
Yes, ma'am,
Yeah, I think that's fine.
And for 2 years?
for 2 years.
Okay, now we'll move to our next item, which is the future agenda items or commission, if any. And I'll start with, for you, Commissioner Mervin.
I have no future agenda items, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am.
Well, but this is not the, okay.
Commissioner Perez.
Well, we started with the 2019-02. We had a discussion. I want to put the motion just to get rid of that and go back to the one that we had previous to that,
2019-02.
2019-02.
Is there a second?
Second?
Okay. There's a motion by Commissioner Perez and properly second by Vice Mayor Boland that we add 2019-02 on the agenda for discussion of possibly eliminating that and going back to the original.
Well, I put that last time, and all we did was discuss it.
Yeah, so
This was
hopefully it'll be on
already
part
put-
of the agenda that we can actually be able to vote on it, or just at least discuss it, and somebody put it forth of a motion to do what you're saying
When would that be?
at the next commission meeting. I think it's been explained it, so hopefully the discussion may not be that long, but let's vote on adding it. Call for questions. Hearing none. Ready for a vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Perez,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Boland,
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez,
Yes.
Commissioner Mervin,
No.
Mayor Bab.
No. Motion passed by a majority, 3-2 vote. We'll move now to Commissioner Vice Mayor. You have anything you'd like to add?
Yes, sir. I would like to see us do a workshop, maybe have somebody come in and help us so that we can learn how to work together up here. And I think a few years ago, I don't remember exactly the gentleman's name, but there was a gentleman who came and did a workshop for the commissioners on working together. It was like a Saturday afternoon thing.
I was doing the retreat. Was it-
I think we, didn't y'all do it up at the, you were here when they did that. You did it up at the marina or someplace, in the room up at the marina that day?
Okay, so if this motion passed with a second, what we'll do is at our next commission meeting, have our city manager arrange for a workshop, and they'll give us all the details of when it's gonna be, how it's gonna be constructed, and so forth. But this is to add to the agenda for the approval of a workshop to assist commissioners in working together in unity. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Moved by Vice Mayor Bolden, properly second by Commissioner Gonzalez, that we add to our agenda a workshop discussion for commissioners to work together. Now, hopefully, it won't take it that long to put everything together, have some dates and times, and then we can approve that. Call for questions. Hearing none, are you ready for a vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Vice Mayor Boland,
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez,
Yes.
Commissioner Perez,
Yes.
Commissioner Mervin,
Yes.
Mayor Bab, sorry.
Yes, motion carries by unanimous vote. And Commissioner Gonzalez, you have anything that you would like to have considered added?
No, sir.
Thank you, sir. And at this time, I don't have anything. So now we're gonna move to T, which is for the good of the order, community events, feel-good announcements. And we're gonna start with Commissioner Gonzalez and move ourselves to the right.
Well, I just want to say thank you for speaking about annexation, because that's something I ran on my platform, and I'm very happy that you support that 100%, and hopefully as a commission, and everybody else, we can work as a team and make it possible. Our city deserves it, the kids deserve it, because the more land we have, more things, more opportunity is going to be there for the kids, possibly bringing in better businesses, or not better, but more businesses to offer the community, and possibly open more parks or something for the kids to do and to have and appreciate in their own hometown. So thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Vice Mayor Bolden.
I wanted to say thank you to Lieutenant Kennedy. I'm sorry he left already, but I think while he was here, he did an excellent job. And I'm looking forward to the new lieutenant. And I'm sorry, I'm terrible at names. I'm good at faces. So it'll take me a little while to learn his name. But hopefully we'll have a good working relationship with him, but I did want to say thank you to Lieutenant Kennedy for everything he did while he was here. Also, I just want to say that I think that as we work together, I would like to see us all attending events. And I know that in the past few weeks, there have been some events, and I've gotten some calls that said, why wasn't I there? And I didn't know that those events were happening. So I think it would be a nice thing, and I'm here, I'm volunteering whatever I can do to help. So if there is an event that we should be at, whether it's the mayor, the vice mayor, or the commissioners, I would like to see us all attend those events and make sure that when we go out to support something, we're all there to say, yes, we do support. And yes, I understand that you represent us as the commission, but I think that numbers always make us look better. So I'm more than willing to do whatever it takes to make that happen. And if I learn of some event that's coming up, then I will certainly contact y'all and let you know. Is it okay for me to just send them an email, or should I send it to the city manager and let her send it, or him, or?
Yes, Vice Mayor, you should really send it to the city manager and let the city manager send it.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, I'll do that. So
City clerk.
I think that'll go a long way with us being able to work well together.
Commissioner Perez?
I just want to congratulate Mr. Denard and the whole crew that were here. I'm very proud of the entire staff. It's good. I've always been involved with the athletes, but one of my concerns was always academic, because you have a lot of talent here, and a lot of them, couldn't make it further than the high school because of the grades. So I'm glad that we have somebody that it's willing to go above and beyond for academics, because the rest, it's a natural. The kids here, they're natural born athletes. They're born with it. So now with academics, hey, the sky's the limit. So thank you, Mr. Denard, and thank you to the entire staff.
Commissioner Mervin?
I would ditto off of what Commissioner Perez says as far as the school. But tonight, Mayor, Commission, citizens of Pahokee, is something that that's on my mind, and normally I don't really say much up here, but sometimes you have to say something when you keep going on and on. So tonight, the mayor brought up some things about this, the marina lease. There's been a lot of conversations going back and forth, a lot of false conversation going back and forth. And I'm here tonight just to dispel some of the rumors that's circling around. I'm not a Facebook junkie. I don't go on Facebook and reading all of the stuff that's going around. But anyway, getting back to the marina, just to dispel for our community would know actually really what's going on. Back in June, and you can actually go on your YouTube and you can pull this video up and look at that commission meeting back in June 23rd, 2020. The commission came to the meeting, and in that meeting, it was stated that the lease came up with Everglades Holding. At first, Everglades Holding did hold with the city, was going in agreement with Everglades Holding. But there were some things happened within that period that was not beneficial to the city of Pahokee. They came with their lease and they had some changes in the lease that was not benefit to the city of Pahokee at all. Actually, it was benefiting them, actually, but it would not benefit the city of Pahokee. So within that agreement, the commission as a majority decided not to move forward with the lease with Everglades Holding. That was a vote. That was a vote. It was also sent to the state that we will no longer entertain Everglades Holding. So that myth saying that there are 2 leases that's sitting up there to be approved is not true. Back then in September, October, there was another RFP went out for just the restaurant. So, and the only person that, and I think went out for 21 days, if I'm not mistaken, and the only person that applied and replied to the RFP was JPDT Holdings. That was the only group that applied. So the commission, as a majority, went for JPDT Holdings. Now, the problem is, which is really sad on our community, and the mayor hit it a little bit in his address, where we have an outside entity, the Everglades Holding, and other people actually calling to the state to jeopardize the lease with JPDT Holding. I think that is deplorable. I think that is wrong, and it is just sad. This group is our very own born and raised group here that went away and decided to come back and put their roots and monies into the city of Pahokee. And to have commissioners, Everglades Holdings, calling the state to jeopardize their lease, I think it's really sad. I think it's really sad. And so to say that there is root now, Everglades Holdings does not have a lease to be signed by the governor and cabinet in Tallahassee. As of tomorrow, I'm speaking, please. As of tomorrow, there's supposed to be a meeting with the Everglades Holding Board, with the governor and cabinet board to be put on the agenda for their lease to be approved by June 15th. And as the mayor stated, we got a sad news just as this week, just yesterday, today, that they want to move it to August 10th. Now, to me, something is going on behind the scene. Now, there have been different conversations saying that they want this commission now to approve, should come back and approve whether this commission want JPDT Holding. That there's nothing in writing, there's nothing factual that we have to do another resolution, another ordinance, another vote. It was majority vote of the last commission that we will move forward with JPDT Holdings. And now to get Robert Lambert, Everglades Holding, and other commissioners to try to jeopardize that, I think that is wrong. We talk about unity, we talk about working together, but it is wrong. We stated, and I know the interim city manager sent a reply back to the state that we will continue to move forward with JPDT Holdings. So I'm asking, please, let's stop some of the backbiting. Let's stop some of the deceptions of saying we're working together, but we leave from here and we're doing totally disregard of what we voted for. When those votes came, those was legal votes. So you're telling me, Commissioner, every vote doesn't count. Commissioner Hill vote doesn't count. That's not right. It was voted on to move forward. And now to try to get JPDT Holdings to be a partner with Everglades Holdings, that's not in their contract. That's not what the city voted on. The city did not vote on and there's no lease up there saying one get this and one gets that. There's not. There's only one lease, and that's only for the restaurant. There's not an RLP out there sitting for the campground or the marina as of yet.
Can anybody else?
I'm talking,
Okay,
this
but
is still my, this is still,
for 20 minutes.
Commissioner Perez, I did not butt you in when you was
You have
talking.
to be talking for 20
So-
minutes, going over the same thing over and over. Give somebody else a chance.
You had your chance, it came to me. It came to me this
The other
time, it came to me.
20 minutes.
You had your chance, this is my chance.
It's true.
Thank you. So just to dispel some of the rumors and the lies that even some of the commissioners going around saying, I think it's wrong. Come on, community. These are our very own born and breed people that's ready to open this marina. And now, just to say now, to put it off, but we know what the tactics are, what they're trying to do. But so let's move forward.
There is no tactic. Stop
Commissioner
spreading
Perez,
that.
Commissioner
Stop
Perez,
spreading it.
allow her to speak.
Okay, but how long she gonna speak? Because we need to say our part too.
No,
This is not a one-sided.
It's not one-sided, and that's one of the reasons.
Well,
These are my comments. These are not part of discussion. These are my comments.
But tell the truth, because there is a lease that is approved by the state up there, and what you're causing is 2 potential lawsuits to the city when it could
Commissioner
be all
Perez, you're
worked
out
out.
of order. Allow her to finish up her comment.
Right now, the governor and cabinet have not signed not one lease. JPD hold lease is not signed. Everglades hold the lease
Yes, it is
is
signed. It is signed.
not.
It is signed. It was told to me that it was signed.
We have a speaker who happened to be a commissioner doing her final closeout. Allow her to do that. so
If
we
the
can
lease
move
was signed, they wouldn't be signing a lease on June 15th.
They're not. And you need to
Oh,
tell
God.
the truth. You need to work
Commissioner
it out.
Perez, it's almost like court. There's a lot of things that said we're not going to agree with. This is her opinion. Allow her to have her opinion. We don't have to counteract every comments on what we
Her
make.
opinion is going live on YouTube, and her opinion is clouding the truth. No one here is against
Okay.
the boys having the restaurant. Everything could be worked out.
Allow her to finish. Bring
Go ahead,
bring it into
Mayor Bab,
Yeah.
as of June 8th, that's 9th, that's tomorrow, it was supposed to be in a meeting. City Manager, can you please verify that? I know as of tomorrow, there was with a governing board cabinet meeting for its agenda. And now, as of June 15th, was been assigned a date for the Everglades, the JPDT holding sublease with DEP. Am I not correct on that?
You are correct.
Thank you. So today, we've got an email today stating that it will be moved to August 10th. That's coming from the state. So that's not a lie.
Okay.
Thank you, Mayor Babb.
Thank you. Let's highlight now, this is for the good of the order, and I think we got through this meeting. I want to congratulate and commend this commission tonight that we can disagree without being disagreeable. And we did it. It's almost like court. Sometimes the opposite side gonna say some things, you wanna cut them off, but allow them to speak, allow them their piece. And I try to rotate it so Commissioner Mervin won't be last the next time. You may be last, so everybody get the last word. Everybody gonna get the first word. You know, that's how we're gonna do this. I adjourn this meeting. Thank you.